First set. Matthew Ebden to serve. Ready. Play. Love 15.
Always fascinates me coming into the Apia International here in Sydney and the change of court. We're obviously Brisbane last week and Pat Rafter Arena. It's more or less an indoor tournament. There you do get a little bit of breeze and the sun comes through. But this particular court here is completely different. Throughout the early morning, it's quite breezy and lively. It starts to settle down a little bit now. But there's a lot of adjustments to be made for the players when they come out onto this particular court. Very circular breeze comes through this stadium. And in general,
30-15.
the end that BENNETEAU is returning from plays downhill, downwind. And so you'll see a lot more spin imparted from this end and a lot more pace and flatter ball
40-15
from the end that Ebden's serving.
Yeah, further to what Todd was saying about the conditions, you know, this court being bathed in sunlight all day in the various parts of the day. As a result of that, it speeds up a little, and then at this time of the day, as it gets into shadow, it'll just slow down a tad.
So a hold of serve for Matty Ebden. First game, first set.
First game.
Well, we're looking forward to tomorrow when Marinko Matosevic and Bernard Tomic hit the court.
Julien BENNETEAU to serve.
There's a good serve, BENNETEAU. Well directed, good pace, and it doesn't necessarily serve a lot of aces, but he sets up the point, as was the case first point. And there it is again, 186 kilometres an hour. Not super quick, but beautifully directed. Ebden at full stretch, couldn't control.
Noticed that one a bit last week against Nishikori. Ebden making a decision in his mind that he wants to try to get around and use the forehand, but not being sharp enough with the feet. Still getting jammed. A love game for BENNETEAU to level at 1-1.
One game.
What do you think, Jeff? Just warming it up still, or a little bit of an issue.
Well, his first service game was pretty impressive. He got up and into it, so I suggest it's okay.
Love 15.
I think there'll be a difference in the service firepower in this match. Ebden, a nice serve, won't get as many free points as BENNETEAU, I think. He might have to work a little harder.
Oh, brilliant. And having spoken about the wind, that's the perfect end to lob from, because you can really hit the ball high up in and it drops quickly as it did then. That was perfectly executed.
Really rips the racket up quickly from low to high to get the top spin. You can see as it hits the court, it just runs away. Smashed that. It had good depth on it. It was also coming out of the shade into the sunlight. So good defensive lob. When you lob defensively, go cross court. You see Ebden there now. He gets an eyeful of sun into the bargain. So it was a good job at love 30. That shot needed to be made.
A couple of doubles already for Ebden, and that one brings up 2 break points.
Looked as if he collapsed on that last second serve, didn't really drive up at the ball. If you collapse, you often bring the ball down into the net. Big overall from Fergus Murphy. It's the farthest line from him. He's normally pretty good.
I've got a feeling it was quite a bit wide, that one. At least a ball. Maybe a little less than a ball, but it was well wide. Good overall.
Reputation intact.
No, luck going the Frenchman's way, and he gets the break here in the first set. He leads 2-1.
Ebden has 2 challenges remaining. Time. Take your seats quickly, please. Ladies and gentlemen, seats, please. love.
Well, Jeff, it's my first match that I've really getting to see here at the Apia, just having got in from Brisbane. I'm interested to know what your thoughts are on the speed of the court, because that one looked like it shot through there onto Ebden pretty quickly.
Shot from Ebden. Yeah, we spoke about it in Brisbane as courts up there being quick, and there's no doubt in my mind that they're at least as quick here. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a fraction quicker. And again, that might depend on the conditions in a day, if there's any wind and heat, etc. But certainly no slower than in Brisbane. So aggression is being rewarded. And again, I think the balls are an issue. The players, if they're missing, are regularly missing long, as was the case there with Ebden. The balls coming off the racket with plenty of zing, and sometimes the players just not controlling it as much as we're used to. Not suggesting it's a bad thing, it's just a little different from previous years.
(40-15).
I think it's where BENNETEAU may have a slight edge in this match. As I said earlier, I think he's going to get more free points off serve because of the extra pace he generates.
Geez, loving round from both ends. BENNETEAU leads 3-1.
BENNETEAU leads 3-1.
Perfectly weighted. Wasn't a lot of spin. It was just the perfect height, perfect length.
He got up pretty high too, didn't he, Ebden?
Oh. The 15 club. On. The 15-30.
Well, that's a very peculiar choice of shot from Ebden. They're quick conditions, and he was on the baseline, which is always a difficult shot to hit unless you're on a very heavy, slow clay court to get the ball to bite back. That's not the case here. And at 1-3, 15 all, he's dug himself a deeper hole now, 15-30.
He doesn't seem quite comfortable with the conditions there, does he? He's not getting a real good aggressive strike on any of the ball. And the last 2 points were very tentative, real deceleration on the serve and the backhand, so a chance for a double break. Too strong from BENNETEAU. He races to a 4-1 lead in this opening set.
BENNETEAU leads 4 games to 1. Time.
Well, it's the Apia International first round of the men's singles. Julien BENNETEAU of France has got off to a flyer against Australia's Matt Ebden. Got the double break at 4-1.
15 love.
Well, I suggest there's nothing wrong with that shoulder.
No, 194, ace. At least that way you don't have to serve much.
He's won 100% of points so far when the first serve's gone into play.
40 love. Game, BENNETEAU.
Boy.
BENNETEAU leads 5 games to 1.
Well, it's coming your... Well, Jeff, needs a bit of a firecracker, doesn't he? He's got to get going, got to get, you know, really moving, get hustling.
15 love.
Aggressive, like something off the ground even, you know, like...
BENNETEAU challenging the call, right service line. What was called in?
Maybe get angry.
Yeah, it's been one-way traffic so far, 22 points to 7. It's a very dramatic point differentiation. The serve is good.
Oh, stand.
But yeah, he's
15 love.
got to change something, Ebden, and quick.
$30 love. Mr. BENNETEAU has 2 challenges remaining.
Last week he had a discussion, Matt, about his backhand. He felt that he really needed to get out there and try to rip the backhand a bit more. Hits a lot of them front on. And by virtue of that, doesn't actually take his backswing back all the way. Holds the racket out to his right and uses a lot of wrist. That's just too good. But by it uses a lot of left hand, flicks at it. You'll see here that it That one's a miss hit, but see how it catches late and then uses the hand to turn it over. Not actually getting a lot of leg drive and rotation to get power through the shot.
Yeah, that acceleration of the wrist should be the last part of the equation, not just the only part of the equation.
And that was a better setup there. You could see the racket was taken further back. The feet were good. He got his weight onto his right foot and able to transfer. Much better game all round from Ebden, but BENNETEAU leads 5-2 first set.
5 games to 2. New balls, please.
Welcome back to the Apia International. Matt Ebden called the ATP physiotherapist to the court, and you'll see he's got a heavily strapped left ankle. That's just as a precaution, but he did roll the ankle about 2.5 weeks ago in training. Was hitting some balls, didn't clear a ball at the back of the court, stood on it and went over. It swelled up, got nasty bruising. Fortunately, though, it didn't do any ligament damage, and I wonder if that, well, it looks like it is one of the reasons he's not as dynamic around the court as he normally is, because he relies heavily on the movement. So the physio just stepping off court. Didn't actually give any treatment, though. They just had a discussion about what was going on.
Just looks there as if, yep, there we go. Just a little ginger about it. Gee, he's been sharp though, hasn't he, BENNETEAU? Lots of winners, 9 winners, 2 unforced errors. It's impressive. Make that 10. Getting into position so quickly. If Ebden's got some movement issues, certainly BENNETEAU does not.
Well, if you're playing somebody that is injured, you make them run more, don't you?
Well,
1 set point saved.
Game.
Second one is an ace, though. Julien BENNETEAU.
6 games to 2.
Very thorough performance in that opening set. 24 minutes, and he takes it 6 games to 2.
Time. Second set. Ebden to serve.
But got
15 love.
Well, a better setup of point, but you could still see once again that didn't want to really transfer the weight onto the foot. Just warming himself back up after that set break, just trying to, I don't know, loosen the ankle up, be positive with it. I'll tell you one thing that I know for certain, that when you've got a niggle, that niggle hurts a lot more when the score's not going your way.
Doesn't it, Wad? It's the same as when you're fatigued. If you're fatigued and trailing, you feel a lot more so than if you're ahead on the scoreboard. So he's going to need to be really resilient and try and get ahead on the scoreboard here. It's a new set.
Let's first serve.
BENNETEAU knows the importance of this game as well. He was really hustling hard there to stay in the point. He's running this side, recovers, gets back. Can't quite get there in time, but both players, I think, recognise the significance of this game. Well, too many double faults, and 4 in total. And I guess that left ankle is the one he needs to drive up with and also land on, so we may give that as a genuine excuse.
Deuce. Advantage, Apia. Game, Ebden.
Very, very important hold for Matt Ebden to get on the scoreboard at 1-love in the second set.
First game, second set.
The highlights, Jeff, of the first set, it was all one-way traffic.
Yeah, it was, and it was very much off the back of some really good serving from Benneteau to set the points up for him, and also some wonderful lobs.
Game.
Inside the baseline there to take the return, really attacking the Ebden second serve, and his ground strokes were really crisp.
15 love. Game. And first set, Benneteau. 6 games, 2-2.
Oh, yes.
Love 15.
Reads the approach shot and gets a nice little curl, that ball. Walking in a little bit past Benneteau and then back in.
15 all.
Oh, gee, that's a ripping backhand there.
Sign of a
30,
confident
15.
player, isn't it? I mean, it was easy, sure, but he just gave it everything. And gets up to it quickly, little steps, and bang, really gets his shoulder turned, steps into it, all the weight going forward. It's beautiful.
There's the support team of Matt Ebden, Mark Shanahan on the left, his wife Kim centre, and Sam Maxwell, his agent on the right in the yellow shirt. There'll be a little concern.
40-30.
He and Kim married in November 2012 over in Margaret River, both from Perth. And Kim done a fair bit of travelling this year, but she's a fully qualified lawyer.
Yeah, Benneteau.
And Benneteau holds serve for 1-all in the second.
1 game.
We've mentioned Benneteau's been serving pretty well, and it's not just about power, it's all about direction and variety. So you don't get two better examples of that than those two serves, one right down the centre.
It's an interesting spread, isn't it? How
Yep.
far they move away from each other if you're the returner. So you're at full stretch just to get those balls back.
Love 15.
And that's the wing where Matty's really spent a lot of time trying to improve. It's not so much the technical part, it's just getting the power and the confidence to really rip it. And you can even see on that one there, he just tried to steer the ball through to the corner, and as soon as you do that, you actually lose more control.
15 all.
To really take the ball on and hit it to the position on court that you want. If you could visualise, maybe there was a tin can sitting there, you're trying to take that can out. So much easier if you take the racket to it.
15-30.
Like the days when you go out and you do your service practice, Jeff, you know, and you put cans in each corner, you move it up for that wide one out, you serve out wide and you try to aim at them. It's very deliberate, and that's what you've got to be even off the ground. That's a better one.
We needed that desperately. It's a big point, 15-30. And he moves onto it rather well, moving forward onto the ball and better at racket acceleration, as you suggested. Basically, in our terminology, you've got to play the ball. Don't let the ball play you. You've got to really play the ball.
Mr. Ebden challenging the call. Left baseline. Ball was called in.
Looked to me as if it may have just accelerated off the line, which it has a tendency to do.
Just caught it. So that means break point for BENNETEAU.
30-40. Induce. Mr. Ebden has 2 challenges remaining.
Well, BENNETEAU's certainly accelerating the racket head right throughout this match. Backhand return there was a good one. And now this one, the ball's low. He's got to get down under the ball, bend his legs really well. Need a lot of racket head speed to get under it, to get the spin. Up and over.
That's
Brilliant.
a wonderful piece of camera work.
Yeah, super.
And there is the break to the Frenchman. Well and truly on top. Julien BENNETEAU leads by a set and 2-1.
Take your seats quickly, please. Ladies and gentlemen, seats, please. Time. Thanks, ladies and gents. If you can take any seat for now, we are waiting. Thank you.
What a heap of spectators to be worrying about at the moment.
15 love.
He's an orderly man, chair umpire Fergus Murphy.
He used to live here in Sydney.
He did?
Yeah.
30 love.
I was saying to him last week, I said, are you still here? He said, no, he's back in Dublin. So he's gone back to the Irish roots.
He had Christmas in Adelaide.
This year?
Yeah, he's got some relatives there.
It's like anywhere he can get a free dinner.
30-15.
Or a pint of Guinness, perhaps. Well, down in Hobart, Sam Stosur seems to have got things a little more under control. Took the second set 6-1, but tied at 3-all in the second. Sorry, rather third.
(40-15).
Really struggling, Matthew Ebden, and look, there's no question if you've got a movement problem, and it seems that the ankle is bothering him. You can't set up and play the shots that you'd like to play.
Game. BENNETEAU.
An easy hold for BENNETEAU to consolidate at 3-1.
BENNETEAU
Out on
leads
court
3
one
games to
here
1.
at the Apia International. Caroline Wozniacki is playing Julia Gork. We will try to find out how you can actually retire and still get back into the tournament.
Love 15.
We may not get you that answer until tomorrow, but that's a very interesting one, Jeff. I'm pretty confident that on the ATP Tour, that if you withdrew in qualifying with an injury or something, your tournament's done. You can't come back into the field.
Yeah, you can see Ebden there. He's really in difficulty pushing off and landing on that left ankle.
Oh, we need...
Love 30.
Kind of slipped into that one too. That was actually, that could have been nasty.
(15-30). Mr. Ebden challenging the call, right far sideline. Ball was called in.
Slightly mishit forehand from BENNETEAU. It looked in flight as if it might have gone long, but because it was mistimed, I think it dropped quickly on the line here.
Call stand. 15-40. Mr. Ebden has one challenge remaining.
We feel there's not much chance for Ebden if he goes down a double break. 2 points, 2 chances now for BENNETEAU.
Out 30-40.
Let off there.
Advantage BENNETEAU.
Well, I feel, Jeff, that Matt's got to get some emotion in this at the moment. It's a pretty sort of low intensity battle that he's playing.
Benneteau.
So Benneteau does get the double break. He leads 6-2 and 4-1.
Benneteau leads 4 games to 1. Time.
Matty Ebden of Australia in huge trouble in this opening round of the Apia International, down a set and double break. Needs to fire up.
It's never really been part of his temperament, has it? Though he's always been rather one-dimensional with his attitude.
Obviously struggling there with the ankle, and look, speed and agility around the court is one of Matt Ebden's great strengths, and you can see they're struggling to really drive off the ankle and protecting it, and without that his game doesn't have the firepower to damage. He's playing against a seasoned pro who won't give much away at the best of times.
6th seed here in Sydney, Benneteau. Been in 9 tour singles finals.
Game. Benneteau.
Benneteau just a game away from a place in the second round.
Benneteau leads 5 games to 1.
Well, it's been a tough afternoon out here for Matt Ebden. So here are some of the trials and tribulations of what seems to have been an issue with his left ankle.
Benneteau leads 15 love. 30 love. Love.
Well, it was a perfectly set up point from BENNETEAU, just a little careless on the volley. So Matty Ebden, 40 love, chance to get another game on the board.
(40-15).
Well, the issue here is if it is as bad as what it seems to be, he has to get recovered and 100% to be ready for the Australian Open in less than a week.
Which is looking a little doubtful, isn't it, when you consider you've got to get out there and play best of 5 sets. It's going to be a challenge.
Ebden
makes the scoreboard a little more respectful. 5-2 BENNETEAU, second set.
BENNETEAU leads 5 games 2-2. Time.
Julien BENNETEAU coming out to serve for the match here in the first round of the Apia International. Leads Matt Ebden 6-2 and 5-2.
Love 15.
Nice angle here from Ebden, and so far out of court, BENNETEAU. He's gone for the haymaker. Kim is willing her man on.
Whoa! $15 all. $30-15.
Well, for all the problems that Matt Ebden has been suffering, it's been a very strong performance from BENNETEAU. He struck the ball cleanly, he's moved well,
And a good serve and volley, showing his all-court skills to bring up
15.
2 match points.
Game, set and match, BENNETEAU. 2 sets to love, 6-2, 6-2.
Through in under an hour against Australia's Matt Ebden in straight sets. 6-2, 6-2. And he will take on the winner of Burlock and a qualifier that's still to be placed.